everyone. So a few different things to do today during async, and the instructions are all listed in the assignment. Just make sure you do each of these things because this is a little bit different than our normal async. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the budget. That's the bridge project budget. You're going to hold on to this and use it throughout the bridge project in case you need to buy more materials. So remember when we talked about the bridge project outline, we went over the costs of the various materials that you might need throughout the bridge project. So the first one is that beams, which are the popsicle sticks, each stick is $20,000. The welding materials, which is the Elmer's glue, one bottle is $1 million and a refill is $800,000. It's pretty unlikely that you need a refill, but you might not be able to afford a refill and still stay under budget. So think about that as you're using glue throughout this project. And then clamps, these are optional but can be really helpful in terms of like getting things to stay together well. So those are $50,000 for the small clips or $100,000 for a large clip. Okay, so the budget looks like this. It has all the material costs up here for you to reference. And then I filled in some example ones here, and we'll do a couple together that everybody should have this same, the two that we are about to do. You all should write this into your budget as well. Okay, so today's the first day of the project. It is 5/24. You can just do this with me because yours should look the same to start. The first thing that you are buying, everybody's buying this same amount, and then if you have extras and you want to sell them back to be under budget, you can do that at the end or somewhere during the project, but everybody's going to start with this. So this is beams. Everybody is starting with 150 popsicle sticks. In this column, we fill in the cost per item. So remember, one beam is $20,000. So we're going to write 20,000 here. So that's how much one would cost. So now we have to multiply our quantity times our cost per item to get the subtotal. So I'll write all of that out here. 150 times 20,000 equals, I believe it's 3 million, but let's double check that. 150 times 20,000 equals 3 million. Perfect. All right, so this would be 3 million. Okay, and then we have to just keep track of what's going on in our budget. So you can see how I did this in the examples up here, and you can just copy along with that. I might actually just copy and paste this because the formatting is easy then. All right, so we're starting off with $5 million. That's why this says 5 million here. And then we want to change these bottom two numbers because this is not accurate. So this we want to say 3 million because that's how much we are spending on popsicle sticks. And then 5 million minus 3 million, that's pretty easy, right? That's $2 million left. So you still have enough to buy the glue and then also any extras that you might need. So you still have $2 million. So let's go ahead and add the glue in there. The material that we're buying is glue or welding materials. Either one is fine. You're just buying one of these, so that's pretty straightforward. The cost per item of glue or welding materials is $1 million. You could write out 1 times 1 million, but since that's so straightforward, let's just write in 1 million. And then let's copy and paste from up here again and adjust those numbers a little bit. So we only had 2 million left now. So we're going to say 2 million minus 1 million. And we are left with $1 million. So everybody right now should have $1 million left in the budget. That means that if you want to buy some more sticks or some clamps, you'll still have money to do that. If you are at home and you already have some clamps available to you, if you don't want to use those, you don't have to charge yourself for those if you end up not using them. But if you do use them, just make sure you add it to the budget so that we know how much you've spent. And if you're at home, obviously it's going to be pretty tricky to get more beams, so hopefully 150 will be enough for you. Okay, so that's the budget. Everybody's budget should look just like this for now, and then maybe today you'll add in some clamps if you want to buy that, or add in some more beams if you want to buy more of those. Though I would recommend not buying any more beams until you've used up all of yours, because you don't really know how many you're going to need. Okay, last thing to check out, we had been talking about the rubric, so I wanted to make sure that you all saw what is on the rubric before we get started. So there are 5 categories on this rubric: design, span, budget, strength, and reflection. You can get a total of 20 points in each of those sections, plus there's a few opportunities for bonus points that are a little bit tricky to get, to be honest. So design, most people in my previous years got a 16 or 18. It's pretty hard to get a 20 because making these really neat and well designed is challenging, but that's not to say that nobody will do it. I think some of you will get 20s. It is pretty tricky, but just make sure you're keeping it neat if you want that full 20, and probably elegantly designed. And then I will give 5 bonus points to one person, whoever has the most elegant or interesting design in the end. All right, oops, this is wrong. This should say 10-inch span. Remember, we changed our criteria a little bit on this. Okay, so the span, you either get 10 points or you get 20 points. There's no in between here. So this one, hopefully everybody can get those 20 points. It just means that you need to have your bridge be a little bit longer than 10 inches so it can go across a 10-inch space. Budget, if you go over budget, you lose 10 points. If you go under budget or meet the budget, you get the full credit there. I'll add 3 bonus points here for way under budget. So that's like if you're $1.5 million under the budget, then you can add those 3 bonus points. Strength is pretty straightforward. All right, sorry, I forgot I hadn't fixed 2 of these columns. Okay, so the strength is how many books it holds. So remember, the minimum requirement is 4 textbooks. I think most of you will get this 20 points here because a lot of 4 textbooks sounds like a lot, but actually once you've built your bridge, you'll see that most of them will hold that much. You lose a certain number of points for each one that it breaks under that. So if it doesn't even hold 1 textbook, then you lose 10 whole points, but you gain 2 for each one that it does hold. And then you can get 3 bonus points for if it holds over 8 textbooks, and I'll give 5 bonus points to the one that holds the most textbooks. Last thing is the reflection. We'll go over this in more detail towards the end, but basically once you're done, you're going to be writing a little bit about how your bridge design went, what forces your bridge held up to, and how it broke. Okay. So remember, you are now going back to the Google Classroom assignment. You want to make sure that your budget is done for at least those 2 lines that I did. And then also you want to spend some time looking at the rubric and then continue planning your bridge design since we're starting construction today. All right, that's all. I'll see you in class.